Today on the podcast, we are talking NCAA women's basketball. They got swag. We're going to talk about it. You know why? It's a hot topic, and that's what we do. Fam on 8 podcast starts right about now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fam on 8 podcast. It's your boy Simbawi Nibai Jr., a.k.a. TK. Along with my co-host Omar Williams, we call him O, and Denise Obi, we call her D Nice. Y'all say what's up to the peeps.
Hello, hello, hello.
What's going on, good people?
It is another lovely Wednesday morning, and y'all know how we do. We jump right in and get things started. But before we do that, it is Affirmation Wednesday, and we'll get our affirmations in and out the way. So if you got them written down, memorized, or whatever you got, let's get those in. You get our day started, rest of our week going, and whatever day you're getting the replay of this, whether it's video or audio, it is affirmation that day, morning, noon, night, or even midnight, or throughout the night. Are you ready? Let's go. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stressless day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I'll become better than who I was yesterday. Today, I will be better than what I was yesterday. I'll throw that one in today. I'm a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it started. So today, talking about NCAA women's basketball. And I heard through a couple of listeners that they actually enjoy when we talk about sports. So maybe we can add that to our repertoire a little more often and keep the viewers and listeners happy. How about that? But today we're talking NCAA women's basketball, and this is a topic that my man O brought to me, and we're talking about the swag NCAA women's basketball has now, and that swag is something that probably has been there for quite some time, but I think it's now starting to make itself more public, I would say, in NCAA basketball, now that it has a lot more TV time. And it's had TV time for a while now, but I think it's gotten a lot more popular now because of and due to the swag that these NCAA women basketball players are now bringing to the table. So I'm going to let my man O just kind of, drop just a little bit of knowledge on the topic since he brought it up. And then we'll talk about it and see, is it swag? Is it not? Is it confidence? Is it being conceited? Is it something different? My man O, drop some knowledge on this, brother.
So tonight we're gonna particularly talk about the main game. It was the NCAA championship where we had LSU Tigers versus the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we had the two main players in the country, which was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Okay, so we all saw it. The game was great. I think the girl Caitlin Clark had one of the greatest games ever played in NCAA history. Was a great game. And then what happened was, at the end, when the game was over, the girl Angel Reese goes up to Caitlin Clark and kind of gives her the "you can't see me" thing and pointed like, We got the ring. Okay.
Right.
So that stirred up a big deal. It caused a commotion. People started breaking things down racially, gender. Like it just opened up a whole can of worms that we're going to get into tonight. I think it's a great topic. I think that I'll save my opinions on it as we speak. But yeah, the game at hand is LSU Iowa. The swag that was demonstrated, because all game long, if you saw it, these girls were talking, mouthing, gesturing all game long, like the boys do. So we'll get into that tonight.
Got you. So let's talk first of all about Caitlin Clark and her run. She had a historical run as a college basketball player. She's likely going to be, if she's not coming back, she's going to be definitely not a number one, number two pick, depending on who wants to draft whoever. So WNBA, right? Mm-hmm. So, and for what I watched her play once. I'll be honest, other than seeing her highlights, and I'm looking and I'm kind of like, this girl's pretty good. Like she can play.
She can play.
And not only can she play, she can talk trash to you.
Yes.
And then she can back it up.
Yes.
And then some. So I was like, okay. I'm like, she knows how good she really is. And so looking at, her highlights from the season, it's no doubt that she can play, she can back it up. And whatever trash she's talking, hey, she can back it up. The other girl, Angel, I didn't watch her play much, but I did see part of the game between Iowa and oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. LSU.
Yep.
Yeah, my mind immediately went to the to the men's division. Yes, Iowa LSU. And so I didn't watch the whole entire game, but I watched part of it. And so the following morning, that night, I got a notification about this whole confrontation, and the next morning I'm like, okay, what is going on? What has happened? And I'm seeing, as O stated, the racial connotations, and then the fact that it's women's basketball and it's nationally televised, and a number of other things that were kind of brought to the table. And the one thing I'm going to ask a question first is, and I'm going to actually let Denise answer first because she is the female on the panel. So my first question is, when you heard of this particular story, what were your first thoughts after looking at it, seeing it, digesting it, and kind of seeing the overall picture of it?
My first thought was, if the men can do it, why can't the women do it? Because the men talk trash all the time, the men get in the faces all the time, and people in the fans are saying, yeah, let's do that. And then the women do it, and it's kind of like, it stirs up a lot of controversy, and it's like, no, this is what the game is. This is the competition. This is what we want. This is what we bring to the game. It's a competition. So I loved it because I thought it was respectful competition. And if you see, Angel Reese did an interview a couple weeks ago, and she said her and Caitlin Clark, they're one of best of friends. It's just on the court, it's a different game. Off the court, they're really cool. And she rated her as one of the best in the country right now. So I thought it brought a lot of respect to the game and even to women's basketball, because I think not necessarily us, but I think a lot of people think women's basketball overall, professional and college, are soft, and the women are always supposed to oh, I broke a nail, oh, I'm gonna go sit down now. No, bring that tough, bring that grit. Women can do it too and still be feminine, but at the same time still have that love for the game and still compete. And that's what they both did, is compete. So that's my thing.
Got you. I think. Yeah. Did it feel as though, Denise, did it feel like it was a gender thing to you? I mean, based on your answer, yes, but do you feel like it was kind of like, well, the females are doing it, it looks bad because it's females? Did it feel that way to you?
Yeah, it did, because, okay, just because we're females, we're not supposed to, just stay in the corner, just play the game, and that's it. No, that's how you kind of keep the fans intrigued, is play the game, play a little aggressive, get in her face. And she wasn't, I don't think she was disrespectful. it was just it was friendly competition. That's basically what it was. And of course, the media ran with it. Of course, fans ran with it. But it was friendly competition, and I loved it.
Okay. Oh, back to you. So, what were your first thoughts when you saw all this transpire and all the fuss about it?
So when I initially, and I just got to keep it real, when I initially saw the gesture, I didn't like it. Initially, because no context, no story behind it. Again, I'm across the board. I'm not a fan of showing up a player in their face, men or women. It don't like in football, if I hit you and you like fall to the ground hard and I get over top of you and go like this, like I don't like that, right? But I'm all for talking trash,
Right.
talking junk, talking like I'm with all of that. So like again, that was you asked me my initial reaction, right? That was my initial thing. Like, what is this girl doing? Then I got context around it. I started to hear her reason why. I started to hear apparently this is the culture of these new kids. Like this is how they're giving it up. Like I may not like it, but like they show clips of the other girl, Caitlyn, doing the you can't see me, and it's like a thing. Like this is what they're doing. So when I got
John
more
Cena's
context, I'm
the
like, you
John
know
Cena
what?
University.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's evolving. And again, like I said, my initial thought was I didn't like it. As I kept hearing it and hearing about it and looking into it, I'm like, you know what, man? This thing broke records, and it's a reason for that. Like this might have been the biggest female basketball game ever, right? So like, and it's a reason for that is because these two girls, they bring that to the table. Like Caitlyn talks, Angel talks. She's dancing, blocking shots, yelling in people's faces. This is what they do now, and I think people just didn't like it for whatever reason it was. So yeah, that my initial reaction though, I did not like it because I'm not a guy. I don't like when you stand up other players in their face. That's just me. But I like junk talk though. I love junk talk. Yeah.
So I'll give my point of view here. So what did my first thoughts were, of course, I was kind of like, oh, like I didn't like it for several reasons. Number one, it was because I saw the racial divide in it. Okay, that was my initial thought, initially. Then I got more context, like O said. And we said content and context make a lot of difference. It matters.
It
And
matters.
so I started seeing that, oh, well, Caitlyn has been doing this throughout the season at certain points of time.
Yep.
And then I said, okay. Then I saw when it happened in the game with Iowa and LSU, and I'll be honest, Caitlyn invited the smoke.
For sure.
She invited it. I will say this, and everybody, some of you might get upset with me or mad, but I will say this. I felt, even though Angel did it back, I felt that Angel went a little excessive. I felt like she kind of took it a little too far because it kind of lingered on, and I'm kind of like, all right, you made your point. You made your point. You can let it go now. It kind of kept going. And I'm like, all right, I get it. But again, like Denise said, we're competing, we're competitors. And it got to the point where like Caitlyn, she's getting a lot of press. Not that Angel isn't, but Caitlyn's getting more because her season it's really historical. And so if you're going against quote unquote that dude, and you feel as though I'm that dude too, when you beat the dude, you like, I got you.
Yep.
I got you. And so the emotions take over to a large degree, and that's sports in general. Yep. So I didn't have a problem with the fact that they were going back and forth, the teams were battling. I'm not one for quote unquote trash talk. Now, I will do it. Most of my trash talk is all in fun. But when you start taking it to another level, I will normally stop talking and let my game do the talking. And when the game is over, I'll give you a look. And that's all I give you, and I walk away. Now, it's just pick up when I play, high school, college, whatever. But, I was never one just to be like, I'm going to talk trash and I'm like, no, I will. It'll be friendly. But then you take it up a notch. I'm like, all right. I'm like, because once I get there, and look, I wasn't like the baddest dude in the land, but I could hold my own. That I could do. And so, like O said, in football, you hit somebody, you know what I mean? You get up and you do your little flexing or whatever. Okay. You know what I mean?
With all that. Yeah.
You know? But I didn't see a problem with it, with the only exception that it seemed like it got excessive on Angel's part. Now, I'm not knocking her for that. I think initially I did because I'm like, why do you got to go there? And then I saw the content and context, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
You was releasing some emotions because she invited the smoke.
Yeah.
Now, let's do a flip on this real quick. Right. Let's say that Angel was talking to town. And she was doing this all throughout the season with people, doing all this stuff, talking trash and all this, you can't see me stuff. And then they come into the game and Caitlin comes in. And now Caitlin is the quote number 2. Angel's the number 1. And then Iowa wins and Caitlin starts doing it to Angel. Do we see a different narrative? Denise, you can go first.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. There's no beating around the bush. You definitely do. And you definitely see almost like the underdog and almost like I wouldn't say the cocky mentality, but you would see like I'd say pridefulness come out. And then I think that would cause like a different type of stir in the game of women's basketball. So I definitely would see definitely a different outcome. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say on that part.
Oh, what about you?
So yeah, I think it would have been a different response. I think again, man, perception and bias are real. If you're like, I always say this all the time, where we live is not reality in like what this country really looks like. Like we live in a hub where there's everybody. There's black, white, Asian, Native American, like it's everybody here. So our perception of things is a little bit more open, a little bit more understanding. We deal with others, right? But when you put a girl like Angel Reese on the national stage, like she's not relatable to the masses. You know what I'm saying? So, but Caitlin Clark may be more relatable to the masses. So her trash talk looks like trash talk like we do. This is what we do, right? Mm-hmm. But Angel Reese's trash talk is like, what do you like? That looks like bad sportsmanship. Yeah, it's just different. And when you don't understand differences, the biases come out, and then you get people saying things like they were saying in the media. So it's like, I'm not faulting the bias, because again, if I grew up with all green people and then I come across a red person and the red person responds to sportsmanship a different way, I may look at theirs as negative, and my green people way is the way to do it. Like mine's passion and integrity and championship. That's the Mamba mentality, right?
Right.
But if you don't like me, it's not going to be the Mamba mentality. It's going to be you're a jerk and you'll win at all costs.
Yeah.
So yeah that's me.
That sounds a little bit to me like some possible sensitivity aspects, maybe. Possibly.
Come on, brother.
I don't know. I'm just I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. That's all.
Come on, brother. You gotta plug the last show. We plug the show.
There you go. Listen to last week's show or the last show, and then come back listen to this one again. You'll kind of understand what we're talking about. All right, we'll take a quick break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about this topic, NCAA women's basketball, the swag, and the culture, and get some more thoughts on this. Fran Money Podcast. Be right back. Are you looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind, Inc., an apparel brand company, impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel, such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it.
It's a frame of mind.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we left, we were talking about women's NCAA basketball, the game particularly between Iowa and LSU, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the You Can't See Me Heard Around the World, I'll call it, with Angel Reese doing the John Cena for about 15 minutes towards Caitlin Clark. Let me stop. I'm just bringing a little comedy to the show. I knew we got a little serious. But right now, we're going to talk a little more about Angel Reese. And I'm going to, of course, bring Caitlin to this. But I want to talk about Angel Reese and her uniform attire, or, for lack of a better term, her drip when she puts on her uniform. Because when I first saw her, I was like, why is she wearing that? Like, why is she wearing it like that? And then I was kind of like, okay, she's got her own style. She's got her own little swag. And again, just like Caitlin, she can back it up if she talks. But she also has a certain style that she has that she brings to the game when she wears her uniform. She has a very high, it could be a yellow, whatever colors, LSU has yellow and purple. Well, the correct colors might be maize, or should I say what? Yeah, maize and something. But yellow and purple and white. And so she may have, a white, yoga pants on or sports pants on. It could be purple, could be yellow. The other leg, there's nothing there. Now, mind you, her shorts, they're pretty high. She's a pretty tall girl. Now, we're not judging the size of her shorts. All I'm saying is that I'm like, wow, like that's a different way of doing it. And I'm like, does that kind of bring a different flavor to the game? Because I'm going to go back to a particular player in the 90s who said this, oh, you can relate. When you look good, you play good. And so I believe that Angel Reese kind of took that and said, you know what? I'm going to take that and I'm going to add that to my game. And so does that, I'll ask two questions. Do we think that's going to kind of be something that gets carried on in women's basketball, where the drip or the attire will speak for the player's image itself? Or do we see that might somehow, some way, possibly tarnish the women's basketball game, as some may think the trash talk and the swag could tarnish the game from an attitude perspective, but not from a viewer perspective? I know that's a lot to swallow to digest, but what are your guys' thoughts on that?
So I actually have to add to that quote you said. Coach Deion Sanders, I'm not sure if it's fully his quote, but he says, you look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. So that ties into the whole thing with the image and everything, because nobody's going to pay you if you kind of look like mumbo jumbo coming on the court. And actually, a former LSU player, her name's Tia Cooper, she actually, I believe, started that trend with the one long sleeve.
Educators, the nice. Educators, the nice.
Gotta watch something. Gotta stay afloat. She actually started that trend with the one long compression leg and then the short. So I've seen her in a few games doing that. I think it's a good thing, Yes, you have to have your boundaries and restrictions and everything, but I think it's a good thing. Why not? You teach kids from a young age, set your own trends, be different. Don't follow the crowd, be a leader. So why not in college do your own thing, set your trend, look how you want to look, whether it be a style, one sleeve, no sleeve. As long as you're clothed and appropriate, yeah. I don't see an issue with that being in anything bad in the future. Still have your regulations for the team, but I think it's okay.
Okay. Oh, you have any thoughts on that?
Again, I think it's an awesome thing. I think if you just look at sports over the years, or any like revolution or a change or evolution, I mean, you figure like men used to wear short shorts. Then Michael Jordan had long shorts. Then the Fab Five made it popular. They also made the black ankle sock popular. Then and Allen Iverson comes,
Right.
and he got the
Trend.
cornrows and the one arm sleeve. Like it changes.
Right.
Allen Iverson was so hood and hip hop. They changed the dress code to how you show up the game.
Right.
But it just keeps changing. Like
Right.
if you look at the women's, it used to have a more masculine thing. Now these girls are like girls. They're ladies. They're pretty women balling though. So like
with the nails on.
With the nails on. So what's happening is our biases again. You see this pretty girl, these long hair and lashes with her shorts up, and you're thinking she should be acting like a lady. It's like, no, she's balling, but she's a lady.
Mm-hmm.
She can do both. You know what I'm saying? So she can talk trash and flick her hair back. You know what I'm saying? So two things can exist. And I think we just got to get over our biases, man. That's it. I think it's great, though. We'll see the evolution, man. It's and it always changes. It'll change again to something else. But again, it's happened with the men before.
Right.
And it's still happening with the men. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I think, too, that the NIL helped change a lot of things, too.
For sure.
Because now you have college athletes who are now able to get paid off of their name. And so this is what we do know. And this is public information. Caitlin Clark has made a good amount of money off of her name in college. Good amount of money. I'm sure there's others out there too. And so Angel Reese has too, as well. And there's other NCAA men, NCAA women. Well, and not just basketball. You've got football players, you've got softball, baseball, and whatever other sport where they are allowing you to make money off of your name. And so that's the topic for another day. But the NIL has definitely changed how the image of college athletes appears. And so it's almost to a point where it's like a semi-pro league, but it's not a semi-pro league. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that they've helped with that image of the college student athlete. Another thing I want to ask you guys too is, I know we talked about being from different areas. Omar said, "Hey, I'm a green person, and I meet a red person, and I do in my green area. This is what we do when we're thinking about winning, beating the team, yada yada yada. But the red people, they may not do it that way, and to them it may look different, and to us what they do looks different. But biases may say, well, man, like they're being cocky, but they're being confident. It's like, I don't know. So my thing is this: let's put Caitlin Clark in Angel Reese's area, and put Angel Reese in Caitlin Clark's area. Does this look different? Because I want to give you a prime example. If you had Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate, going up against Kobe, they kind of, to a degree, they come from like a same kind of narrative area. Now, of course, Kobe
same background.
He's been global. He's been to Italy. So he has some. But Kobe, he's from Lower Merion High School outside of Philadelphia, so he understands. So you have these two players of different ethnicities, but they roll from the same area. Whereas opposed to where you might have had, say, Craig Elo, and I'm going back now, Craig Elo and Michael Jordan, and they're kind of like, like we're not really sure if that really mixes. So if we come from the same area, it seems it's okay, no matter the ethnicity. But if we don't, now there's this so-called gray area where we gotta like, I don't know if that really mixes. How do y'all feel about that?
I'll
we go, Denise.
I'll go first.
I figured that might throw you for a little loop. So
I think so. Basically, if I'm hearing your question correct, you're saying if you were to put Angel Reese are you telling me if Angel Reese was from Iowa and Caitlin Clark was like,
Yeah, so
okay, I'm trying to say
they could switch teams, or
Yeah.
you could say, hey, Angel Reese
switch.
is from this area, which is
Mhm.
maybe more suburban or rural, where then
All right.
Caitlin Clark is now from more of a Atlanta, Jersey,
Okay.
South side.
area.
But okay, so all right, so keep that thought right. So what I'm gonna say is this: the reflection of the celebrations are going to be that white or black, right? Like if Caitlin Clark was from outside of Maryland, D.C. area, like Angel Reese is, her her celebrations and her passion may come off that like even more that way. And if you switched it up, you know, might come off how Caitlin Clark's come off. I don't know, but yeah, where they're from, who they are, what cultures they're coming from, all affects everything. And that example you gave of Kobe and Jason Williams was perfect because to the naked eye, Jason Williams, you would think if you just looked at them both, you would think Kobe came from West Virginia with Jason Williams,
Right.
and Jason Williams lived in Italy and went to Lower Merion High
Right,
School.
right.
Two different guys, two different expressions. Jason Williams was more hood than Kobe.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Message.
My opinion. It's just my opinion. And so you got to take. Sometimes it's color. Sometimes it's not color. It's just it's where you're from.
It's culture.
It's culture.
There you go.
Lower Merion High School is one of the best high schools in the state of Pennsylvania, and it's predominantly Caucasian. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Williams comes from him and Randy Moss were in high school together. You saw Randy Moss,
right?
We'll leave it at that. Like Allen Iverson, they're all from that same Virginia, West Virginia. Randy Moss went to the Heisman Trophy awards where he had cornrows and sunglasses on, sitting in the front row. So it's again, it's just culture, man, and it's where you're from. It's not necessarily your race.
Mind you,
know what I mean?
Randy Moss has his own name in the NFL. It's like, oh, you just got mossed.
Yeah, you got mossed, right? And he's changed his image, right? So like he grew up, he got out of that culture, he started making millions of dollars, meeting new people, seeing new things, and now look at him now. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, so that's my
Denise.
I feel like Angel and Caitlin will get to that point of making their own. Because even Angel now, her nickname is the Bayou Barbie. Like that's her own nickname, and now she's trademarking off of that. And even in an interview the other day with her and Flage, they were saying that we haven't even touched any of our NIL money at all, and look how long we've been making a profit off of that just because of marketing their own brands. Because Flage does music, but Angel has her own thing going. So I think you can have the best of both worlds. I think it doesn't matter where you come from. It's all about your company you keep, who you are, and what you're like. Are you really hungry for the game, or are you really hungry to succeed? So no matter where you are, who you are.
Awesome response, Denise. I figured, I was like, I used the Craig Elo, Michael Jordan, so that's going to throw it for a loop real quick right there.
I know a little something.
But she bought it. But listen, I will say this is that, we're not talking about this from a racial standpoint, though the masses of media did see it that way initially. Yeah. And I think once we got more content and context, it's like, okay, let's peel the layers back and start looking at this in totality as to what it is. And I think that's what we then started to see. Like Omar said, there's always going to be something that's black and white. Like that's always going to be, and not just black and white as far as ethnicity, just in general. Like, there's black, there's white, and there's gray. And the gray areas are actually the more dangerous areas to be in, because it's kind of like there's almost no rules in the gray area, where it's like either you're black or you're white, or you're right or you're wrong, or you're left or you're right. It's like it's one or the other. The gray areas where you start getting into a lot of different things that rules don't apply. And it's like, I'm here, but I'm not there. You know what I mean? It's like you need to make a decision, one or the other. So I think overall, women's NCAA basketball, it's definitely. I think after this year, next year, even during the season and when the NCAA tournament gets here, people are going to want to watch more because now, as Denise said, like that's entertainment. People want to see that. But of course, women's NCAA basketball, like they play, they ball, they do throughout the year and during the tournament. There was a point where they weren't getting the same clout as the men's basketball was, but now, in today's world, it could take one opportunity to showcase something, and the next thing you know, it pops off and it goes. And so I think the NCAA women's basketball has now taken the Iowa LSU game, and that's kind of like, all right, let's run with this. Let's get all we can out of this to really make this pop even more. Any last words you guys have on this topic before we kind of end things out?
I'll say this. I just think that as a collective, as a country, as a people, it's hard to fight biases, and I just think we got to learn how to fight them. Like we all have them. When you see something, when you look, like whatever you see, all your prejudices come out, your biases come out. What you think about a race, what you think about a gender, what you think about a person, even just a look of a person, you automatically assume something, and that's hard to fight. And I think as a collective, as a country, as a people, we gotta learn how to try to figure out the differences. And everything's not negative. It's not a bad thing that she celebrates like she does. If you don't understand it, find out why. That's all.
That's a good point, brother. Denise?
Yeah.
I thought about it going off of Omar's point. I thought about when Joe Biden invited both teams to the White House, and Caitlin Clark, of course, said no. And then Angel Reese, she respectfully came out and said, "I don't want to go. Like I don't find that respectful that you invited both teams to the White House. Like one team won." And then people kind of went on Angel Reese for it, and I'm like, she has a point though, because look at when the Warriors won, who went to the White House? The Warriors by themselves.
That's true.
When any NFL team won, who went to the
Everybody.
White House by themselves? That one NFL team. So now, since all this is going on, and then now when Angel Reese says, "No, I don't accept her apologies, and I don't want to go," everybody takes it and runs with it. So definitely just, do your research, talk to somebody, culture yourself, get hip. That's what we say now. Yeah. Hip, get hip, right?
As this generation now says, facts. And I will say this, based off of
no cap.
Right, no cap, and based off what Denise just said, in the end, there can only be one.
Exactly.
So, those of you who are Highlander fans out there, that's for you guys. So, before we go, I'm gonna we do have a product of the month for the month of May. This is our Women's Entrepreneurial Series month of May. So we wanted to start it off with the NCAA women's basketball conversation to start off this whole month. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to have 3 different women we're going to interview who are entrepreneurs in their own right. So stay tuned for that all month long. So every week, with the exception of Memorial Day week, we're going to have 3 separate women we're going to interview. Stay tuned for that. But with that, there will be a product of the month from the Fernand Money Podcast website store. What we're going to do is we're going to give you guys 2 products to choose from. We're going to let you guys tell us which product you want us to put out there for you guys to purchase. So the first product will be Make It Happen. Now, you guys that are not seeing the video portion, you won't see this, and I don't have a video portion up, but you can go to the website, go to the store, look at our Make It Happen shirt. It's in both of these styles are both going to be women's t-shirts, okay? So it's Make It Happen is the first product. The second product we're asking is I am determined. It's a women's style. It's got kind of like a glow or diamond kind of, reflection on it. Make It Happen kind of has the same thing, but they're kind of different text. So let us know, do you want I am determined to be product of the month, or do you want Make It Happen to be the product of the month? We'll post those on our Instagram page and our Facebook page. Let us know, leave a comment or whatever, and say, hey, you can either comment Make It Happen or comment I am determined. And whichever one gets the most, that's the one we're going to put out there for you guys for the entire month to purchase from, whether it's the t-shirt itself, if it's a long sleeve, or if it's a hoodie as well. Not to mention, and I'm going to throw this in for free, any t-shirt, the one you guys pick, will also give you the wristband I am determined to go along with it, whether it's Make It Happen or I am determined, okay? Once you guys select, we'll give you guys the code to put in your checkout, and you guys can go and get that and for the product of the month for the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. So, with that said, continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next week, all of us, we holla. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.